Should I look both ways before you cross me, baby? 'Cause I don't break for boys. I'm moving on. I'm moving on.
Okay, so let's send a challenge.
Here is challenging. Nice graphics, easy to see. Oh, what are you thinking about? You're looking how it can be the most painful?
Exactly. Okay, fine.
That I give up a phone. He wants to be even rude.
E5, it's E5 Patzers.
A complete repertoire against 1E4 based on 1E5, now available to study with Chessable's unique Move Trainer technology. The backbone is the Marshall Gambit against the Spanish, with 3 Knight F6 against the Italian. Jan Gustafsson has revisited all these lines he has played for 20 years and worked on as a second for Peter Lecco and Magnus Carlsen, amongst others, with the help of the most powerful engines out there, Leela 0 and Stockfish 10. This has led to many new discoveries and a repertoire ready to master on Chessable that can serve the student for a long chess career.
Maybe E4 doesn't exist after all.
E5, it's E5 Patzers.
Hi everyone, welcome to our new video series. My name is Jan Gustafsson and I'm thrilled to be reunited with fellow Magnus Carlsen's trainers, seconds, Peter Heine Nielsen, Magnus Carlsen's head coach, and Laurent Fressinet, Magnus Carlsen's French coach, are both here, and we will be going through the World Championship match 2021. Our experiences with it, the games, what we prepared, where we felt things went well, where we felt things didn't go well. Peter, we have different perspectives because we were in different locations.
Very much. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about it because you were in Thailand during all the match and I was in Dubai with Magnus and his non-chess team. So I see some kind of debriefing where we will discuss what was the mood in Dubai, what was happening in the technical department in Thailand, and we got to sort of basically compare notes and get the two kind of inside looks from the match.
Very much so. And Laurent, we are actually in your private home. Thanks for having us.
It's a big pleasure to welcome both of you, and I'm sure it will be interesting to talk to you guys about the match.
Likewise.
So we hope you guys enjoy the series with our behind the scenes insights. See you then.
When I saw her for the first time, it was love at first sight. I love how rich and complex she is, how sharp and principled her first steps, how graceful her movement. Paris is the city of love. I've come to find my love for the French defense.
Hi, I'm Grandmaster Judith Polgar, and I'm here to welcome you in the Chessable classroom. It combines a shared chessboard with live video. Teachers get to interact on the chessboard with their students and even run quizzes and tournaments. I really love what Chessable Classroom can offer. I use it myself all the time. Just invite students to your classroom and start teaching right there. No downloads needed, and it's for free.
It's time to take control of your journey towards chess mastery. Magnus Carlsen introduces Chessable, the definitive solution for studying chess. Move Trainer uses the science of spaced repetition to identify your strengths and eliminate your weaknesses. There's no need to set up a board, remember which page you're on, or keep track of all the moves you miss. Move Trainer empowers you to go from the opening to the end game with confidence. It's a seamless, effective, and fun way to study chess. Choose from one of the largest online chess libraries in the world, with hundreds of titles ranging from classic books through to our exclusive Chessable courses, including over 100 free courses. Get expert insights from International Master John Bartholomew, Grandmaster Sam Shankland, International Master Christoph Sulecki, Grandmaster Simon Williams, World Champion Magnus Carlsen, and hundreds of other instructors. Get started now and join our growing community of over 100,000 chess enthusiasts at chessable.com. Chessable, take control of your journey towards chess mastery.
I'm ahead of the game. Well, the phone is always ringing. I'm caught up on the line. Got a string around my finger. Remember who am I? I'm a boss and I'm honestly off my rocker, but follow me. I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the game. I'm only ever slinging. I'm working overtime. Got a song and I'm the singer, the melody, the vibe. I'm a product
Hi, everybody. It's the big tiebreak day here in the FIDE Grand Prix final leg. Nakamura versus Mamedyarov and Tabatabai against Wesley So. Peter Svidler, fast-paced chess action on April Fool's Friday afternoon. What's not to like?
Well, many things, but not those things, though.
Good point. Yeah. And we have liftoff. Hikaru Nakamura with the white pieces after hiding his preparation in the tournament game where he played a sideline of the Petrov. Now he's going for it. No more secrets being kept. Knight f3 followed by b3. The improved 1b3 because he stopped e5 on the first move.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cleverly done. And he's been doing this very seriously for a bit now in all kinds of online events. And yeah, seems to believe it's at the very least a valid option against most things in a setting where you don't really care that much about being extremely precise and extremely ambitious in the opening. And sometimes he just gets very good positions as well. It's not as if he's completely abandoning the idea of being better after the opening, but
no, it's a serious line. It does get you a chess game. I do like this c5, knight c6. The main move here is bishop to b5, but then after bishop d7, I could never find even a trace of an opening advantage for it. After d4, you have choices. You can put the bishop here. I think I want a bishop f5, but bishop g4 is also very logical. You're not forced to take or box in your bishop. So Mamedyarov goes with bishop to g4. And Nakamura is saying, I don't want any opening debates with a quick dc5 or whatnot. He just wants to develop his pieces. But hard to claim you're better here with white if black gets the bishop out and everything set up perfectly.
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, the other one is kind of immediately more exciting because Amin is doing something that is quite unexpected. I'm trying to figure out. I'm pretty sure I covered this in the course, but of course, impossible to remember what it says because whoever
weeks and weeks ago.
Yeah, it was ages and ages ago. I think actually this move order is not covered because I went for a bit of a cop out of saying that since white can actually force us to play g6 in most positions, we will be looking at positions with g6. But on the other hand, I do kind of vaguely remember exactly the position that they're playing right now. And I think it's not supposed to be good for white, but maybe I'm mixing things up.
This line is interesting, this e4. I've looked at this. It's one of those that's less stupid than they appear at first sight. I believe I originally wanted this, takes, but here dc5, things weren't that simple, like queen a5 check, c3 takes, and you can reclaim the pawn at the very least. So e4, cd4, forcing the issue. I'm curious, Wesley is a fantastic theoretician if he's done his homework here, because I was less happy with this option, queen d4, knight c6, bishop b5. I wasn't that thrilled about this position.
Well, that's the one I kind of remember. I think bishop d7 is supposed to work, but it's not exactly the position in my mind somehow. But I'm struggling to figure out why it still wouldn't be quite good for black. Like bishop 6, bishop c6, ed5, knight d5 does look completely fine. Castle's long. I think we can take on e4. I don't really see why that wouldn't be allowed. Don't see how we lose. And e5, knight d7 followed by e6 seems like a very decent version of those types of, Caro / French / whatever you want to call.
Go e6 here?
You can go e6, yeah. This is the point. Yeah, fe, knight f3, and just go for this type of compensation. Yeah, this is probably the major difference here. We could try avoiding it by playing e5, knight e4, but even in that position, maybe e6 is playable.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure I wasn't thrilled, but as usual. Half knowledge. Wesley does play pawn to a6 instead of bishop to d7, forcing the capture. And what is his point now? After e5, knight d7, you could argue e6 is less strong here because you have some quicker, I don't know, something. But now I think I'm out of book.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe the knight even goes all the way back just to stop e6 from happening altogether. Looks like it's sort of a horrific waste of time, but it does come out via, e6, knight e7, it goes to, I don't know, g6 or 5, or maybe we go c5, knight c6 later. And white did kind of limit their options quite a bit as well by closing the center this way. I think e5 is not even forced right now. Yeah, the difference between this position and the one with the bishop on c6 is that, yeah, nothing is hanging. We can definitely spend a tempo on castling long, or perhaps playing knight f3, or doing any of the sensible stuff that you might want to do here.
I mean, he also seems surprised by this move a6, because he chose his lines. He probably looked at bishop d7 as well. No, he's taking him out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, feels like this may have caught him a little bit by surprise. I don't think it's that much of an unpleasant surprise, though, because this position looks perfectly playable for white. In fact, I would actually argue that we don't want to be pushing e5 so early. We need to keep this in reserve. I don't think it can be taken away from white very comfortably, whatever you do here. So like castles long, knight f3, rook he1, and keep your options more flexible.
Yeah, I'm not sure. After e5, now the knight goes to d7.
Yeah, now it definitely does.
Any of that time. Like, depends if white has something good here, but I can't spot it at first sight. You want to start attacking things?
Yeah, I wanted to at least have the option of playing knight e5, or perhaps queen a4, knight e5, or something along those lines. Yeah.
Queen a4 is interesting.
Although, because, you can definitely just ignore it, but maybe I go knight e5 here and try to take it in some kind of a more efficient way.
Looks spicy, but I have a feeling it's can't be too bad for black now.
Yeah,
rook c8, like rook c8, and I'll take. And how bad can it be?
Yeah, that looks like an absolutely perfect Sicilian. Yeah.
I don't know if you take on a6, but just the general type of position.
Yeah, looks unplayable for white. Yeah, looks like you don't survive these.
Amin is with me. He goes e5.
Yeah, interesting kind of a fork in the road here for Wesley, because with the pawn on c6, maybe knight d7 becomes more playable, but
yeah, that's the question. Also, Wesley, usually when he knows stuff, he sticks to the computer line. So I'm fairly certain a6 is not the computer line. So maybe he's winging it a little bit here.
A little bit.
Even a great theoretician like Wesley, like how much time did he spend on knight c3, bishop f4, e4?
Yeah, Imasuji says that a6 is not actually featured in the Mogster course on the Jabava London. I believe it is the Jabava London. And yeah, knight g8 chosen by Wesley.
Yeah, doesn't want any of this e6 business, which is reasonable. At least you don't get blown away quickly. And even if he's slightly worse here, like life goes on. Still curious if we can play e6, but it might be pushing.
Yeah, but it's an interesting option. Yeah, but targets will be hard to come by. Now we go, I guess, knight f6, g6, bishop g7, or f6, bishop f7, as you're indicating. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably pushing our luck a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit too futuristic. If you wanted to do that, you could try playing queen a4 here to provoke bishop d7 and then play e6 much happier.
I'm assuming you're just happy playing e6 now. I can't take anyway.
Well, I mean, you can, but you're not going to like it. Yeah.
No. Normally computers give h4 in these positions, like randomly play h4, h5 and see what happens. But these crazy computers and their crazy h4 moves. Fun position. Black trades time for structure and the bishop pair.
Yeah. How worried would you be? Like, it's a kind of a twofold question. How worried are you about e6, c5 happening, and also can you actually stop it? And I think the answer to the second one very much influences the answer to the first one, because knight a4 looks awkward. in all of these positions. Like after queen a5, you have to continue jumping. You're not really stopping c5 anyway. So it feels like you kind of have to grin and bear it, just allow the structure to.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about this long castles, like because the king is always a target there, and if
He
you
wants
don't have
knight
any
like
direct,
maybe he
tactics-
wants knight e4 and knight d6 check.
Ah, okay, that explains it. Yeah, that's the move. Although I'm not sure what's going on, but this feels like the right move. Queen a5, you
I'm gonna be giving up on a2 very.
check.
Yeah, check. I guess you go f6. And I think I'm still not spending any time on protecting the pawn. I go knight f3 here, and I need to be prepared.
Awkward, yeah.
Yeah, I need to be prepared to sacrifice on e5, and it feels like it's much more relevant than protecting the pawn on a2, because there's never going to be an attack on the queen side with all the pieces undeveloped.
No, this looks dangerous for black, doesn't it?
It's actually kind of bad for black, because the knight on g8 it's going to be very difficult to develop it.
Knight f6 is just so ugly. Like
yeah, that's why I also assumed f6 needs to be played. Interestingly, knight e4 hasn't been played yet, so he is considering other options. Yeah, okay, now it's
there he goes.
Yeah, maybe you go c5 here.
Did Wesley miss knight e4? Or miss is strong, but did he
underestimate
that white has active options here?
It's possible, yeah, it's possible. I'm wondering, like, I actually kind of like c5. My issue is white is not obliged to take. You can play queen d2 here, or queen d3, but I like d2. D2 I feel is a more harmonious square. But then maybe you get to develop slightly better, yeah. Or c3, yeah. I don't know why I chose d2, because knight c5, queen a5, I can definitely make an argument for black. At least an argument that this is better than the previous position. I don't know if it's good, but it's yeah. This endgame is not that horrible.
No,
although it's probably worse, but it's not that horrible. And I really, really disliked the one we had with the pawn d6 earlier. So yeah, Wesley in kind of early. I don't know if we should call it trouble, but definitely.
This idea looks very strong. Like the knight landing on d6 just opens up all our sort of blocked in pieces. So. Yeah, I mean, twice in a row. Okay, I'm not sure if yesterday was an opening victory, but at least he manages to get Wesley onto unfamiliar ground early on, which is impressive in itself. The other game also somewhat.
It actually kind of blew up, yeah, because
this is fairly like standard.
Yeah, standard, slow development, and then Hikaru just went g4.
Black perfectly fine here, of course.
Yeah.
I'd take black actually, but that's maybe a matter of taste. Although I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I'm taking black here as well. Yeah, the bishop on d6 is just better than the bishop on b2, and it's very important that we got the other bishop out of the from inside the chain, so it gets traded on g6. But Hikaru actually forcing the trade on g6 by playing g4 was very, very unexpected. I guess he just didn't really like his position and felt that some kind of a change was needed.
Nobody's worse. Like bishop f4 is always looming. It's like they change colors, like you play. I don't know. Something like this, and black chooses a somewhat dodgy setup with b6, bishop b7, which, okay, you don't lose, but you're not enjoying the right either normally.
Yeah, very fair. So yeah, Hikaru understandably perhaps chooses just dramatically changes the outlook here by forcing the trade and forcing it by weakening his king side. I wonder if there is some kind of an immediate reaction here that is quite strong, because but I mean, g6 g5 cannot really be a mistake. I assume you want to have control over the f4 square, because you can definitely imagine some scenarios where one of your knights will be aimed at the f4 square in the future. Knight df3, knight e4 doesn't worry black at all, of course. In fact, moving this knight somewhere and playing f7, f6 would be quite a solid plan. So Hikaru goes c4 here, and yeah, knight d7 is the first move here, which kind of raises raises an eyebrow a little bit, because I would be very interested in, let's say, starting with d takes c4, and asking, like if you want to add to your weaknesses here by also breaking. This allows knight e4.
Sure.
Yeah, this I was very interested in, and then I realized maybe knight e4 works. Although you have to continue calculating, right? Knight e4, knight e5. Maybe it's just good for black. Knight e6, knight f3 check. So yeah, knight e7 seems like a little bit of a conservative option there by Shahryar, but
knight d3. I can't shuffle the knight around. I'd like to have it on g6.
Yeah. I guess white wants something like cd5, ed5, queen f3, but the pawn still isn't hanging even in that position, right? We can maybe take queen f3, yeah.
Yeah, hard to believe black is in trouble, but at least
no. I think it's a question of how much of an advantage you have here, like queen d7, knight d6, or knight g6 to follow. I'm still very much taking black here, but maybe there was something that was a harsher test. Yeah, knight f8 on the board. I think that was definitely one of, at least a part of the reasoning for knight d7, having access to these squares.
Yeah, Mamedyarov comfortable, but we've all seen Hikaru play enough rapid and blitzer. We know this is far from the end of the story if it's not better of the opening.
Yeah, and okay, this one generally is more interesting, but I just wanted to say that what Hikaru is doing now is, this is basically now a race, and I quite like his approach, because by playing c5, he removes all the pressure from the center. So black is absolutely free to try to launch something on the king side, since there will be no counterplay in the center for now. But b4, b5 comes very quickly. Yeah, you just kind of have to ignore it and claim that this gain in space will not really give Hikaru very much.
Yeah, I guess the knight goes here. At least it's stopping quite a bit. Or, I don't know. He doesn't play b5 here.
Doesn't play the b5 yet, yeah, because he probably correctly estimates that it cannot be stopped. But with the knight leaving the d2 square, meeting b5 with knight a5 becomes even more attractive, because the square on c4 will become available. So you can make, any kind of a decent waiting move here makes sense. Queen f6, f6, king f7 even is not that stupid to have access to the h8 square for the rook. Yeah, strange position, might become very sharp at any point.
It's a reinforced bathtub. How bad would it be?
Yeah. It's a kind of a pity that there's no pawn on d7, so there would be like a bathtub standing on two legs.
That looks more like a spider. All right, let's switch to the other game, because that looked very exciting, although maybe the queens are coming off, which maybe not. So bishop d7, Wesley felt no need for the c5 business, or maybe he just didn't like any of his options. Check, f6. Black never plays e5, right? You just lose in some way.
Yeah.
Or rook e1 first, whatever, it just doesn't work. So rook b8.
Yeah, rook h1, queen b6, and I mean, quite happily actually takes the queens off. I was wondering if he was planning to try to keep them on, but queen b4 probably actually forces them off anyway. So he does it in a way that allows him to win a tempo with bishop b3, which probably completely stops any hopes of playing c6, c5. The issue here is that all of this looks very nice for white, but eventually, like king f7 and then maybe h5, knight h6, and eventually the pieces will start coming out. And this pawn on d6 is, if this were a go stone, it would be in trouble, right? It's a bit surrounded.
Play c4, sending some reinforcements. Did he have to do that? There's no way to break through here, like just by violent means. Bishop c5, knight d4, and I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering about aiming the knight at the c5 square, like
this,
via the b3 square, but it's slow, and it gets there, and you still don't win really. You just kind of improve one piece, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's very understandable that he wants to keep an eye on the h6 square for as long as possible to make it awkward for Wesley to develop the knight. So he goes c4, king f7, rook d3. I quite like rook d3. I try and, hinting at rook lifts. Do you actually kind of bite the bullet here and go knight h6 anyway? Or do you not? Such a weird structure.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Because you can actually play c5, rook b5, rook c3, and I think that pawn is never in trouble. It's just that I don't know how you win. And yeah, black
Also,
eventually...
you might lose.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it starts... If those pawns start rolling in the center, they might be more powerful than yours.
I don't know. Can you ignore it? Play rook a3?
Yeah. Knight f5.
Takes, maybe.
It feels like you're going to be better almost regardless of what you do if you play sensibly, but it's a question of degrees. And yeah, knight h6 played, so yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out soon enough. It's kind of a weird spot, yeah. You can take and go rook a3. Like if you want to play rook a3, I guess you can do it that order. But yeah, he started with rook a3 straight away. I assume knight f5 happens, and then there's a question of whether you want to play bishop c5 or something along those lines, which looks quite strong because then you can follow it up with g4 and drive the knight back, and maybe it never actually gets developed.
Yeah. I don't know. Just spending a tempo and giving this pawn.
Maybe
might be the...
Yeah, h5 might be required. Yeah, I don't really like allowing g4.
The lesser evil, but
yeah, something like
it is. I'm not sure.
This actually looks like it probably is savable for black. Just go e5 here, or g5, g4, or e5, king e6. Yeah, and just does not look
too bad.
Yeah, does not look all that bad at all. Hey, bunny. Yeah, h5, g4. That was a very good call by you, and Wesley agrees. Yeah, preserving the f5 square for the knight, absolutely crucial here. And probably rook a8. Yeah, the entire line.
Here we go.
Maybe is there an argument for rook b6?
Obviously, yes. If we go rook b8, so the
maybe I win a little bit of time because the a pawn is not hanging, right? But
yeah, of course.
My bigger issue is maybe I can take rook b7, rook d8, because bishop b6, knight takes d6 appears to be working out for black. And then okay, if I get to play king e8, everything gets secured.
Seems to work. And yeah. I mean, not messing around, it just takes and goes king b1.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he's much better, actually. Even.
I
better
think,
at all.
I think black is completely fine at the very least. I would be kind of low-key worried here with white.
Yeah, these pawns.
Yeah, the pawn c6 eventually falls, I think, and e5, d4, and the bishop on d7 might become very strong, and the bishop on c5 is just like a lone ornament.
Lone ornament?
Yeah.
You have all the best words.
Absolutely. It's a quote.
e5 plate. Who said absolutely?
Yeah. It's it's supposedly a very, very, like, it's an insult which can only be washed away with blood if you say this to a dwarf in a Discworld universe setting.
No further questions. H3 plate. Do you go h4?
Yes, I think so. h4, g5, just secure everything. We're not really worried about allowing g4 very much, but just kind of making sure there's a weakness on g2 for future use.
Yeah, culture. No, Wesley will be thrilled after the position he got out of the opening, especially after 94, that he made it here.
Yeah, I think a sequence of very, very good decisions by Wesley, and you get the feeling that something must have been available to Amin earlier on, because I'm pretty sure he was much better somewhere around move 15, and he definitely isn't anymore.
Yeah. All right, we'll keep an eye on it. Let's switch back to Nakamura versus Mamedyarov. Hikaru Nakamura already qualified for the candidates tournament, taking his sort of victory lap here in the semifinals and then potentially the finals against Mamedyarov.
He's running very, very, very severe risks here. Yeah, position looks extremely dangerous and sort of mildly
enemy.
Yeah.
What do you do after rook h8? He wants to.
I think you kind of actually h3 is not hanging yet, right? Yeah. So you can actually spend a tempo on like rook a1 or something. And black also needs to make sure that they never blunder some kind of knight g5 rook f3 check shenanigans. But for the time being, I don't think white has a threat. And knight e5 check was a draw for Hikaru, people are saying, at some point. I guess instead of rook e3. No, next move, yeah, you have to. Yeah, because now g5,
okay.
g5 pawn is now hanging, so you have knight g5, knight h7 here, which apparently makes an immediate draw.
Makes sense.
And black does not have anything. The interesting part is not that. The interesting part is that, let's say I go knight c takes e5, g takes e5, and rook h8, and the machine. Yeah, I can imagine this not being good for black at all. Like ef, gf, rook takes e6 might actually win for white, for all we know, right? Yeah, may have been a bit of a miss by Hikaru.
Rook h8 plate. Maybe he's thinking about b5, but inviting this knight over here still feels like doesn't help the white case.
With rook on e3 in particular, it's a tough decision to be sure of, at least. The same tactic no longer works. Are we certain it doesn't? It probably doesn't, right? It looks scary for black, but there's always knight f4, like knight g5, fe, knight g5. You will have to play king f6, and after rook f3, you might have to play king takes g5. But there's probably just no mate. Hang on, rook f5 check. It has to continue running forwards, but maybe it just is quite safe on h4, yeah, which is kind of weird.
So as we say in shogi, the entering king is safe.
The entering king is seemingly very, very safe here. Yeah. Rook a1 played for the time being. I guess rook c8 is a default reply, and then we can try all of our sacrificial shenanigans again, but they don't seem to be much improved by having the rook on e1 in those lines. Also, maybe e6 is not even all that hanging, because if you take on e6, you allow rook takes h3. It's just a question of what's the useful move that is not rook c8 here. Knight h4.
Just double rooks, ignore everything. At some point, this might become a question. Also, it's a strange move to make.
Yeah. No, I think in particular, in 4 minutes, your default has to be rook c8, but he hasn't played it yet, so I guess he has better ideas. I really am wondering about knight h4. I think that's the move that is sort of the most concrete option. If you take, I want to give a check and then just take on h4 and claim that we are making progress and white really isn't.
Fair.
Yeah, seems playable at the very least, and I don't think there's a tactical refutation because black controls most things that need to be controlled. Before b5 somewhere needs to be calculated in all of these lines, like in this position, or knight h4 b5 immediately needs to be calculated, but I just don't know if it creates...
Still asking for this.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like it feels like we're doing something by driving the knight away from the center, but rook takes e6 remains unplayable, and apart from rook takes e6, we don't really have very many ideas. So people are suggesting rook h4, which I assume is the top engine move that's been mentioned in chat.
Oh, nice. Doubling the rooks, but in a more active way.
I still have no idea why this is supposed to be good. Yeah, if you want to
here though, like,
yeah.
Sure, there's a reason.
Yeah.
He goes king f8. Very cryptic.
That is
blocking out this rook.
Very, very cryptic. I have no idea what this is.
He wants to stop all these checks, probably.
Yeah, but in a way, it actually invites more of this stuff. Like knight d5, I think, became more attractive rather than less attractive. Maybe you just ignore it and go knight f4 or something, yeah? And just say, more fool you. One of the best engine moves, we're being told by chat. Chess is a very, very rich game. Like, there's no way I'm even considering this move, I think, in a live setting.
Just feels worse than other rook doublings. You're not threatening anything. So
top move being king g8.
King g8.
Oh, okay.
You mean king f8 was one of the top engines?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on chat, and chat is kind of complimentary, and yeah, I've no idea how you end up there. Hikaru clearly also not, hasn't really considered this prior to the move appearing on the board, so has to reassess. I mean, the idea here for white, the thing that you would very much like to achieve somehow is to get the king over to b1, but I don't think, okay, I mean, rook takes h3 is a threat now.
Well, it's as simple as that, yeah, you just, that's why you move the king. Actually makes sense.
Yeah, it took me 2 minutes to realize that he's actually threatening to take on h3 now, which it's just very, very straightforward.
King g2, there's not h4 check, so it's
I guess this
exactly
improves.
Safety.
Yeah, this I guess improves slightly. Or maybe there's something even stronger, but I suspect it's this. And yeah, Wesley is much better. People are getting slightly overexcited, but we were predicting this might happen for a while.
The writing was on the wall.
Yeah. Wesley's just very good at chess, and when you give him this kind of an unclear endgame, in particular when he is clearly the side in ascendancy, kind of emotionally, because he got here after a very, very unpromising opening. Yeah, it looked like he might start getting might start outplaying Amin. Yeah, this looks like a blunder of a piece, but actually bishop f7, bishop d5 exists, so you don't win anything by bishop c5.
Oh, he's gonna win this.
Most likely, yeah. Looks very, very.
But even without emotional ascendancy, Black's position just looked much easier to play here, right? Like, I'm not sure if he's objectively better.
No,
but
once you found h5 rook a8 and showed it on the screen, I started thinking, if this happens, I'm taking black. And yeah,
a5, but this pawn is not gonna queen. I guess you just bring the bishop and take it from there.
Yeah.
Now this looks lost.
Yeah, this looks both kind of engine-like lost and even very humanly lost, because you get a better structure, better light pieces.
On up by now.
Yeah, white has the one trump of in the form of the passer on a5, but it's not going to move. It's just you need to find a way to dislodge this bishop b6 a5 construction somehow. But yeah, if all else fails, a timely knight c8 might actually do that.
I was alright thinking about violence, but g4, knight takes h4. There's no
probably unnecessary. Yeah, it looks interesting. Yeah, looks interesting.
Yeah, knight c8 on the board.
Yeah, if the bishop goes somewhere, you get to play rook b8 check and get your rook on the open file. And once those things start happening, the position just collapses. Yeah, Wesley not behind on the clock, very comfortably in control here. And in the other one, yeah, the pawns got traded. Hikaru allowed rook takes h3 and took on e6. Is currently threatening mate in 2 with rook e8, queen a6, but obviously that's not going to get blundered. It's a little bit too telegraphed of an idea to be very effective.
G8.
Yeah. Shach is saying I need to get my king to safety and then something will get found on the king side, which I think is probably the correct estimation here. Even though, like, if you go rook e8 check here, let's say takes king h7, you can actually ignore it and go king h7 immediately, but this position, and you go king g2. I don't know how black wins. Maybe knight f4 check wins, actually. Scratch that. Yeah, I think knight f4 check wins, because you cannot take on h3 and then everything starts falling apart.
Literally checkmate.
But apparently you can play king g2 now. But yeah, Hikaru does play rook e8 check. This looks like the line we just showed looks borderline
Did he miss knight f4? Could be, no?
And Shach just goes king h7.
He goes back.
Yeah, this part I can explain, yeah, I mean, or understand at least, because now knight g5 check is a threat, king g8 played.
Is Shach trying to repeat, or maybe he spotted knight f4 and by now?
I think if rook e8 check happens, he probably considers again, because he has more time. He can definitely invest like 40 seconds here into calculating the capture.
Rook e8 played.
Maybe it takes king h7, knight d5 something, or is that a thing?
Not sure.
I'm guessing we take with the c knight. White goes d. Yeah, this would be
illustration.
Yeah, this would be not great. Knight takes. I guess d takes e5. Rook takes f3. Just doesn't work, right? There's no follow up.
I don't see it. It's a piece.
F. Bardamo says if we take rook e3 in the final position anyway, not king g2, and king g2 is just a blunder. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, just rook e3 here.
Still stable. Knight h4, this queen h5, which would be a bit of a mistake, as Peter would put it.
Yeah, I would. Absolutely would.
What can we do? Knight f4?
Loses to knight takes and knight takes g5, right? Would be a good move, but
even here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they repeated one more time, and it seems like you can play king g8 here, but that would just result in a claim. So
for the mysterious half doubling of rooks. But the king never gets out of the way. Which is...
Knight takes g5, yes, still is a threat.
I keep blundering that too. Yeah.
Rook h4 is a move you can make.
Oh, it's back. Rook h6 he goes. Also not a formation you see every day. Rook on h6,
yeah.
King on h7. But the black king still is safer than the white king, no?
Definitely.
Of all the
absolutely
all the tricks to blunder. Just need one more unit to make progress.
Yeah, it's unclear what that unit is, but if you find a way to activate the knight on c6, it probably
that comes the way.
Yeah, provides them with a unit.
That's surprising, yeah.
That is very, very.
Although knight a5, if the bar is not leading us astray, is a mistake, although it's the most natural move in the world. Maybe there was some trickery. Knight f4, what could be? Maybe knight f4.
Knight f4, I thought takes queen d3 is a good reply, but maybe you just play g6 and your mating threats are still stronger than anything else white has. Because queen g4, rook h1 is quite strong as a threat here. Oh, hang on, I have the e2 square. What am I talking about? It's complete nonsense. Anyway, knight a5, rook e6 played.
Yeah, let's stick with the game.
And rook h3.
What is going on? Rook e3, this tactic by now, even I am familiar with.
I'm more interested in the question. Okay, now he goes rook h4. Now he goes rook h4. I was wondering why he didn't just play knight c4 earlier. Okay, queen c2. I guess we can just take and go knight c4, right? We don't really need to have a rook on the h file, and knight takes h4 might actually be a threat right now.
That's how he does it.
Rook e6.
Rook back to e6.
Still a kind of a tricky position because, yeah, you can definitely blunder something like knight e5 somewhere and everything might collapse, but you assume that black has a way to consolidate. Something like queen f7 might not be a bad move here, for instance. Just to make it... Go on?
No, I was just going to say it's so hard to win a chess game against Hikaru, no? Like,
yeah,
he just keeps finding resources, doesn't collapse even when he's worse.
Yeah, it was queen d7, I think, with similar ideas. Rook e7 is a move, but I guess this is why queen d7 might be stronger than queen f7, because then we can play queen f5.
c6 played also.
Can we just take twice? Maybe he wants knight c5. Yeah, but knight c5 is sort of the wrong direction. Now we
wrong
go...
can be.
Well, white is apparently winning.
e7.
Okay.
Queen f7, rook e7.
Or queen f5, I guess, even maybe, and then queen h3 check as an inclusion. This is quite a startling turnaround, and honestly, it's hard to figure out what was the mistake. Maybe queen d7 wasn't good, but yeah. Schach made moves which looked perfectly reasonable to me, and suddenly he is down a minute on the clock and also apparently losing.
Well, that's what I meant. It looked like he was just, breaking through. But even here with the knight, things aren't easy. So let's see what happens. Queen c7, bishop c1. Apparently also good.
Yeah, apparently the only winning move, but stopping queen f4 I can very, very easily understand. This, I think, is a humanly explicable move. And now I guess some kind of a tactic must already win, like rook c6 followed by knight g5 or something. Because the queen no longer has any good squares, so you can actually spend a tempo on rook c6.
What, a queen f5?
Yeah, queen f5 also looks very strong.
This is a bit of a threat.
Yeah.
It's resigns now. Rook f4,
yeah,
queen h3, rook c6. So
pretty much end of the game.
Whoa!
End of game.
And Mamedyarov resigns. That turned around quickly. Although, yeah, it was never fully finished.
No. It was a very sharp position. It just felt like it was sort of the tide was going very, very much in favor of Schach, and then he made one mistake somewhere along the way, and it all collapsed. Let me just check briefly. So after king f1, instead of knight c4, which is the most obvious and the most natural move in the position, you were supposed to play queen d7. I'm guessing because the pawn on b5 is relevant since it pins the knight on d3. It's not the pawn in itself. I think it's more that you stop all the potential shenanigans with knight g5 or whatever. And then you can play queen f5 or knight c4 or whatever you need. But the inclusion of queen f7 here is...
But who doesn't play knight c4 with like 30 seconds on the clock?
And yeah, after rook e6, it's already quite unclear, and queen d7, c6 white is better, and the bc knight c5 white is winning, basically. So in the space of about 2 moves, it went from black objectively being more or less completely winning, even though moves are not obvious, to white more or less completely winning. And bishop c1 is a very, very nice touch. But I think, yeah, somebody in chat said this is impossible to find. Stopping queen f4 is actually very, very logical. I think it is possible to make this move even on a minute. For a chess player of Hikaru's stature, he spots these things, because queen f4 is really the only idea black has in this position. So stopping it makes a ton of sense.
He did stop it.
Stop it very, very efficiently.
All right, let's have a look at the other game that is still in progress, where Wesley So is well on his way to victory as well.
Yeah. I mean, the game is still ongoing, but the result is not really very much in doubt. And this is why we were arguing for playing h5, h4 early, and now the entire king side is just going to disappear. Rook e2, I guess, is the last precise move you need to make here, and yeah, everything collapses. Knight c5, you can go king f6, you can go rook takes g2 as well. I don't think there's much left here in terms of precision.
Is there an actual landline telephone ringing in your house?
Oh, that's a house phone. That's somebody calling from downstairs.
That makes more sense.
Even though we do have a working landline, which gets called occasionally. Yeah, Wesley taking his time, making sure that he doesn't miss anything. But yeah, pretty much whichever normal looking move he chooses here is going to win. E4, E3 also probably isn't a mistake. Yeah,
it's very much over. And yeah, I like king f6, king g6, but at least the knight was still asking questions. But he's figured it out here. Knight f8, king e7, knight g6, king f6, and the dance ends. All this.
Yeah. Nicely played game by Wesley. He got very unpleasantly surprised in the opening and figured out a way to keep the game afloat and exploited what I assume must have been serious inaccuracies roundabout between moves 15 and 20 to get here. And yeah, I don't imagine he lets this one go. Bishop g6 or really anything.
It is a knight.
Yeah, you obviously do need you do need to make sure you don't blunder some kind of a fork somewhere.
It's good advice in general.
Yeah, this is why I was more arguing for bishop g6 so that we could play king e6 in reply to knight f6 check. But it's
what I always do is I try to keep my most important pieces on squares of opposite colors. Then it's harder to blunder stuff. If you have the king on d6 and the rook on e2, there's never knight d4 check attacking both. Bishop f5 played.
But yeah, this is where the game starts really kind of ending, because you've run out of things to attack, and now black can just start pushing or start taking the entire king side. Like rook g2, rook e5, and bishop h3 is not a bad way to go here. Just collect everything and then start pushing the h-pawn.
Nah, I gotta be precise. Need to push the king away from the c file first.
Yeah,
very important.
Wesley is a purist. Yeah.
Good stuff by Wesley. What's the latest on Wesley? I haven't followed. What's happening in his life? Is he still in Minnetonka?
Probably, but yeah, I'm also not entirely up to date. I've not really kept up.
So you never talk on your landline telephone?
No.
Rook c5 check, king d4.
Even though that might be the way to talk to Wesley if you want to talk to Wesley, because I think at least the rumor was that until somewhat recently he was not a mobile phone enjoyer.
Meaning he didn't have one, or he just didn't enjoy his mobile phone? Because I hate my phone too.
Yeah, wasn't. I think the idea was that he didn't have one, but
he's probably just much wiser than us, like not being addicted to your stupid phone. You can get stuff done. And he does get stuff done here by winning this game. Nice. Yeah, I don't know if it's a comeback win. He survived the opening where he was certainly in trouble, probably in multiple ways. Actually, we can have a look somewhere around here. Yeah, here Rook D3 engine is very excited about
Yeah.
already. Like Queen B6, Rook B3, and he's saying, "Sorry, sir, thou shall not pass."
Yeah.
That looks crashing actually with the
No
queen.
queen trade for you, and then basically black probably just gonna never gets out of the corner. You need to play King F7, H5, Knight H6 to even begin disentangling, and
but the rook on the third, something bad's gonna happen.
at some point white might start sacrificing stuff. Yeah.
So that was nice, but
stopping Queen B6 makes a ton of sense actually.
Even here, of course, it's worse. Bishop E3 wasn't needed apparently, but also fine. Rook B8, and we talked about this. No, Knight D4 to potentially bring the knight is what the computer wants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely believe that. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was all that good for. I mean, clearly good, but how good? Mm-hmm. But machine really enjoys this. Yeah, says get the knight to C5, and you even have time to take and return to C5, and then play bishop somewhere, and the pawn E6 is hanging, and so on. So problems never really stop for black here. Yeah, somewhere around move 20, I think it was already completely level at the very least, and maybe definitely trending upwards for black.
Yeah, somewhere. Let's see where the turning point is. Computer's still like white. Yeah, computers want to take this guy. Probably. Yeah, just this knight F5, H5 construction. I guess he underestimated H5. Because now it's equal already. This is just so stable.
Yeah, he probably just missed H5. Yeah, I think he thought, okay, knight F5 is cute, but I will play
double attack. Yeah,
I will just play G4 next move, and we'll be back to being in complete control. And then H5 happened.
Yeah, you were right. Rook B6 was a better way to go about things.
Take on H2.
Maybe you can. You're just not worse. Oh no, but white is actually better. H3.
H3.
H4. G4. Don't ask me why.
Yeah, none of this is obvious.
No, it makes sense once you see it as usual, because if the knight takes bishop b6 works, and if not, we're threatening g4, but not easy.
Yep.
Okay, and then we've seen how the game turned, but here even computer says black is at least equal already, and we had a feeling Wesley was taking this one.
Yep.
All right.
From here wasn't a surprise at all. There will be, with a bit of a roundup that we did, there will be, I guess, maybe 10 to maybe 12 minutes left remaining of the break they have between games.
Excellent. I will use that break to the fullest to get more coffee, because I started my cup fill 2 minutes before the game started, and my machine was a bit slow, so I only got very little coffee. How's your coffee intakes? How many cups do you drink a day, if any?
We've started as part of the program to socialize the doggo. We now take him for his morning walk and then end the walk in a cafe where he has to behave himself, and we get to drink some coffee.
So one?
One
coffee?
Between 1 and 2 per day, yeah.
No one healthier than you. All right, we'll be back in a couple minutes. Thank you so much for watching these semifinals. Mamedyarov has to win on demand against Nakamura in the second one, as does Tabatabai. Tabatabai also has the added disadvantage of having the black pieces. So tall order for him. Thanks for watching. See you soon.
Hi everyone, welcome to our new video series. My name is Jan Gustafsson, and I'm thrilled to be reunited with fellow Magnus Carlsen's trainers, seconds, Peter Heine Nielsen, Magnus Carlsen's head coach, and Laurent Fressinet, Magnus Carlsen's French coach, are both here, and we will be going through the World Championship match 2021. Our experiences with it, the games, what we prepared, where we felt things went well, where we felt things didn't go well. Peter, we have different perspectives because we were in different locations.
Very much. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about it, because you were in Thailand during all the match, and I was in Dubai with Magnus and his non-chess team. So I see some kind of debriefing where we will discuss what was the mood in Dubai, what was happening in the technical department in Thailand, and we got to sort of basically compare notes and get the two kind of inside looks from the match.
Very much so. And Laurent, we are actually in your private home. Thanks for having us.
It's a big pleasure to welcome both of you, and I'm sure it will be interesting to talk to you guys about the match.
Likewise.
So we hope you guys enjoy the series with our behind the scenes insights. See you then.
E5, it's E5 Patzers.
A complete repertoire against 1E4 based on 1E5, now available to study with Chessable's unique Move Trainer technology. The backbone is the Marshall Gambit against the Spanish, with 3 Knight F6 against the Italian. Jan Gustafsson has revisited all these lines he has played for 20 years and worked on as a second for Peter Lecco and Magnus Carlsen, amongst others, with the help of the most powerful engines out there, Leela 0 and Stockfish 10. This has led to many new discoveries and a repertoire ready to master on Chessable that can serve the student for a long chess career.
Maybe E4 doesn't exist after all.
E5, it's E5 Patzers.
Okay, so let's send a challenge.
Here is challenging. Nice graphics, easy to see. What are you thinking about? You're looking how it can be the most painful?
Exactly. Okay, fine.
So that I give up a phone. He wants to be even rude.
When I saw her for the first time, it was love at first sight. I love how rich and complex she is, how sharp and principled her first steps, how graceful her movement. Paris is the city of love. I've come to find my love for the French defense.
Hi, I'm Grandmaster Judith Polgar, and I'm here to welcome you in the Chessable classroom. It combines a shared chessboard with live video. Teachers get to interact on the chessboard with their students and even run quizzes and tournaments. I really love what Chessable Classroom can offer. I use it myself all the time. Just invite students to your classroom and start teaching right there. No downloads needed, and it's for free.
Welcome back, everybody. Games number 2 of today's tiebreak are just beginning. Mamedyarov in a must-win against Nakamura. He goes for c4, g3. Is this one of these lines you had to study during your casual chess studies recently?
This is something I've looked at quite a bit, but not recently. No, I've been at some point I tried to make myself into a competitive 1c4 player. So yeah, this is what they do these days, right? This knight a6, bishop c5, bishop e7.
It's supposed to be better for white, though. I'm a bit surprised by ed. I thought e4 is what they do in all these positions. Like ed is the old mainline, but I thought this was not equalizing. So black played these more ambitious plans when white can choose if he wants to go d5 or not, but overall it was supposed to be okay. But let's see what happens. Ed, queen d4, knight a6.
Yeah, this is this very cute game that cute maybe is not the right word. Shah won a very nice game with e4, queen a4 against somebody, right? Against maybe Prague in.
Oh yeah, that's true. Not sure if it was with.
I think it was against one of the e4, queen a4, d5, cd, b5, queen b3, and so on, and some kind of madness like this, right? And then knight h3 somewhere, and yeah, I can't exactly recall how it went, but
I'm just wondering if it was this position or maybe this position.
Or maybe
I think it was this one, which makes a difference.
You're absolutely right, yeah. Because he played bishop h3 actually at some point, right?
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Okay. So knight a6. I think, the point is that for some reason it's important to lure the queen to e5 before playing bishop e7. So you have to expect bishop c5 to be the next move, and then if the check is given, which I assume it normally is.
Knight c3, that's also odd. Knight f3 is what they do. Right? No, he goes very humble.
Yeah.
The thing is, if white manages to develop, he's still better. So black has to do something, but this looks slow.
I'm guessing d5 is very critical in all of these positions, despite it, nominally being a pawn sacrifice. Nobody ever picks that pawn up, so you can do it here, or you can include castles and go d5 next move against most reasonable moves.
No, if you wait, you're structurally worse. So
and in particular because you played knight a6, because it's really not that good of a square for that knight. In particular, if you have to play some kind of an isolani.
I'm wondering if knight h3 is a move here. It looks a bit too fancy, probably. d5 takes.
Yeah, d5 takes knight f4, d4, knight somewhere. Yeah,
not a big fan.
Playable, but unclear how good. And in the meantime, Amin has to win with the black pieces against Wesley, and he's gone for the King's Indian.
Wesley is saying we can repeat moves. I do not mind.
Yeah, knight f3 is a kind of a clever thing. Yeah,
it's one of these tough spots with black, where in order to create winning chances, you have to play a suboptimal line. Because I would guess Wesley knows enough even about dry lines like e5, d5 here to force his way home, which doesn't work on a slightly lower level because white can easily be worse if he places for a draw. But move by move, I would guess Wesley is capable of making a draw here if he feels like.
Yeah. I used to play a lot of the knight b7 King's Indian about like 25 years ago.
Did you enjoy it?
Not normally, no. And this is why I quit. But it does keep pieces on the board, which is, I think, the main requirement here for him. I mean, he doesn't really care what the position is evaluated as long as it remains playable. I don't think I don't think e5 was played. I think my move here was queen e7, but c6 obviously is a logical.
d95?
No, probably not here. Yeah, maybe it was c6.
Yeah, c6, what everybody does, and now it's either queen c2 or d5 or rook e1. There's a bunch of moves. I've played all of these.
There's also bishop e3, the immediate knight g4, which doesn't equalize but does exist, and I'm trying to figure out, like, there's this famous game I lost to Viktor Korchnoi. Yeah, it's one of these lines, but I can't remember exactly which.
I think it was this, some bishop c1. Anyway, let's see what happened. So after c6, Wesley decides to close the center, which objectively must be the best move, but in a must-draw situation, not the most obvious. And now at least Black gets to play in G4. Looks strange, but very typical.
Yeah, it's a kind of a understandable approach, trying to minimize the impact of the eventual f7, f5, but yeah, not the most obvious approach to a must-draw game. Knight g8, kind of a multi-purpose move. You want to play bishop h6. You also, of course, want to prepare f5. Sometimes, those two things go also very well together, which is what knight f3 is about. Making sure you have the g5 option after bishop h6, and also, I guess f5, knight g5 would be.
Even this g5, I'm not sure how excited you are with white to commit to this, but
yeah, and I think goes knight b6, which is, it looks like a weird move, but it does provoke some very awkward replies from white. Like if you have to play h3, knight b6 starts looking a lot more sensible.
This has gone wrong for Wesley. He's approached this strangely. I'm not sure if it's bad, but it's really not the position you want here.
Yeah, the match situation probably, he would very much like something simpler and something more controlled, which I think after c6 you have plenty of options. Like queen c2 is always a move there, or whatever. Yeah, I think queen c2 specifically is a very useful waiting move in most of these positions.
I drew my arrows for a reason. Also, d takes e5 was played in some Kasparov games, which is also very solid.
Yeah. Then again, I mean, he generally, I think, can reasonably trust himself to be able to play even a complicated position. He just trusts himself to be a good chess player on the day. But yeah, h3, bishop h6 is interesting. f5 even immediately is also quite interesting, because if you can no longer really play knight g5, because with the knight on b6, the e6 square is covered by the bishop.
I just get checkmated here. This is also odd. Also, not sure how much of a stickler I have to be, but knight d2 is weird with d5 and c5. The knight doesn't belong here. It belongs there if white goes for b4, c5. On this position, knight e1 is very much the main line, headed for this square. So I'm not sure if he mixed up something or he knows something. I don't. All of this looks strange. The knight returning is already an indicator, because black has made useful moves. King h8, knight h8. It's not like black lost any time. So this went horribly for Wesley. If you have the pawn here and king on h1, sometimes his positions are fine for white, but like this.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's that bad yet, but this is obviously an absolute dream for Amin, because it's a very sharp position in which, he didn't even have to compromise in terms of, making good moves to get it. His not down material has done all the sensible things. Ef bishop f5. You'd like to play knight g5 here, but you have to contend with bishop h6 being a move. And it's awkward. It's just very awkward. On the other hand, if you give white a couple of tempi here, rather than play knight g5 and bishop g4, you're going to be fine. But
these tempi will never be given.
Yeah, it's just a very, very concrete position. Bishop h6. Is he?
H4,
yeah. You might have to play h4, or alternatively, maybe you can try to calculate knight e6 to some kind of an acceptable conclusion. It looks very scary, but then again, like we've made progress, and if we don't get mated here, like if I can play, I don't know, bishop g4 or king h2 or whatever,
yeah,
and not
happy are you?
I'm just saying it requires calculate. Maybe we can go kind of completely all in and go queen h4, queen takes d6, and claim we're not getting mated.
That could be.
But yeah, like in a must-draw game, none of this is very much fun. Like, because if you make a miscalculation somewhere here, you do just get mated. The game just will not restart if you make a mistake here.
That's surprising, because it felt like Wesley, would just cruise, having won with black. Doesn't look like it.
No, not at all. Apart from bishop h6, anything else look attractive to you?
I don't know. Like, I can name moves e4 or whatnot, but bishop h6 looks logical to ask questions before bishop g4 or knight c4 or whatnot lands.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, the crucial bit of decision making for Wesley, because h4, I don't see any immediate refutation, but it's not a move you make happily in a very open King's Indian. Like even 97 G6 might be quite painful. Because yeah, that is a large target you're creating for your opponent to play against.
Yes, he has to, no?
No, I mean, once again, I don't know if 96 loses. It might not. That's my other argument, is that those lines look extremely scary, but I'm not sure if we're actually losing with white.
Didn't think about keeping the bishop going queen h4 here.
That actually is something I blundered, and I'm very scared now. Very, very scared.
It does feel. I don't know if there's something more direct, but even this.
Like, instead of rook f8, bishop b3 might be even
strong.
Just to, yeah, like. And then eventually I will take on f8 once I've collected everything and, you know, given the comfortable checks. And yeah, looks very, very bad. Looks just like it shouldn't work.
Yep.
So while Wesley is pondering all this, what's happening in the other one?
Not as much.
Yeah. And interestingly, Hikaru actually took two tempi to play d5, but he did it in a way that allowed him to avoid having nice Alani.
d4 still looks somewhat better for white, doesn't it? With all these pieces on the board.
Knight f6 is a clever move here, saying that, yes, this allows you to ruin my pawn structure on the king side, but those endgames are just immediately very comfortable for black, and this allows Hikaru to trade.
Yeah, this is just nothing.
Yeah. I'm probably taking...
Yeah, you take back.
Yeah, knight b4, a5, a4, there's a lot of play immediately on the queen side. Understandably, Shahryar does something else, but yeah, queen's coming off, I think, is kind of good news for Hikaru. If the rook was already on d8, black would be completely fine, because you could just play bishop e6, c8 quite comfortably and be happy about things.
Would you go rook 81? I think my hand would want the other rook.
Yeah, I think it probably is influenced by bishop d5, e4 lines. He wants, because I'm pretty sure if you don't have e4 in this position, bishop d5 is just the move. And
he wants some rook e1.
Yeah, he wants to have both of them in the center for those lines, yeah. Because I don't think it wins material. Like it's a playable move, but black has bishop takes f3. So I think it's understandable that you want both of them in the center here. Might be playable for black anyway.
Back with black, no? Like,
yeah, bishop b4, rook a8, yeah. Seems fine. Even with the rooks on d1 and e1, so yeah. Anything else we're missing? Yeah, rook fe1.
Yeah, but bishop b4?
b4 anyway, yeah. So, but Hikaru says no, not interested in having to calculate anything. My position is healthy enough to just play bishop c8. Probably is true actually, because knight on g5 is awkward. You have to spend tempi either bringing back or creating squares for it, and pieces will get redeveloped. Knight fd4, I guess, right? Knight fd4, and the other one goes to f3.
I don't know. Still feels like black is a tempo too short of safety. Like stuff could happen.
Yeah, those things do actually happen despite it being an endgame. You have to very much watch out for those types of sacrifices with the bishops on b2 and g2 being as strong as they are. Knight e4 not played yet. What else could he be considering? I mean, knight e5 exists, but I would rather have it on d4, I think.
Yeah.
There might not be a large difference, but I think I'm probably choosing knight e4.
So does Mamedyarov.
Do we have enough time to play bishop d7, rook a d8 here? Yeah, kind of hinges on whether e4 works, right?
Yeah, h6, I couldn't see a follow-up.
I just want to go knight f3 here and ask the question. Knight f4, rook e1. Or knight e5 might just be winning. Yeah, knight e5 is just winning. Knight f6 we take on c6 and resigns.
Yeah, bishop d7, if you have to do that.
You're not very happy, yeah.
You're not thrilled.
Yeah. What kind of knight c5, a5 is is a sensible tempo. But once again, it might be slow. It might just not work out tactically.
Rook e8, copy, not impressed. We can take maybe, no?
Yeah, I was about to say that in terms of like a must-win game in this structure, you probably kind of semi-welcome any kind of a change in material balance. But I'm not sure if white is better here. Like bishop f5, I guess. Rook takes, and our pieces are not exactly where they're supposed to. And also, you would like to have like more stuff on the queen side. Having 4 against 3 and 2 against 1 is, I think, less promising than 3 against 3 and 3 against 1 on the queen side. It's harder to create.
Better some e4 first.
Yeah, I actually blundered e4 here. Yeah, yeah, that might be relevant. Definitely an option for Schach here. It changes the course of the game at the very least. Like it creates a disbalanced position you can play. Also, what else do you do? Is maybe a larger question. Like you need to create some kind of a proactive plan, because Hikaru is kind of telegraphing that he wants to go bishop f8, h6, and then somehow finish development and just be. Because structurally, black is fine. But you need to be quick. You need to create something now. I mean, in the meantime, is 2 pawns up.
Yeah, this was not Wesley's finest opening.
But according to the bar, not even better.
Oof. This was Wesley's finest opening.
Absolutely, yeah. Some of his most brilliant work. I'm guessing the idea is that knight e4, maybe even takes c5, happens very quickly, and then the structure starts collapsing. Yeah, I was wondering about the spending all that much time on collection when he maybe could have done something more precise. After bishop h6, white played queen d2, and queen d7 looks logical to sidestep knight jumps, but yeah, maybe here you're not supposed to be so greedy. It's a difficult position to navigate. That knight on b6 is kind of...
Yeah, that's what's keeping white in the game. Like somewhere here. And
apparently h6 on move 19 was winning. But yeah, I don't think it's very easy to understand why.
Some queen h7 shenanigans.
Yeah, but like, why is bishop e3 so bad? I just want to play g3. Some sort of bishop d3 might be winning, yeah, I guess.
Some good square for this guy.
Yeah. Bishop e3, knight c4, and then bishop d3. even harsher, yeah. We throw it.
Wow.
And then we go bishop d3, and this is apparently mate.
This is nice.
Yeah, I guess check from g4 and rook f3, I guess, yeah. But yeah, I mean, obviously, good luck finding any of that in a practical game. Like it's very beautiful, and you know, I'm actually grateful for the viewers for pointing this out, because we're not finding this on our own, and it's a beautiful line. But yeah.
Well, the tough move is h6, though. Understanding that, no, I mean, once you're here, not sure I would have spotted it, but it's not an impossible tactic. If you in a rapid game, it's rough.
Yeah. It's exactly. It's just starting to look at h6 that is a very, very difficult task in a rapid game.
Because you want the bishop not covering f2, so it's not exactly true.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we have? Queen e3. He's thinking, which is already a bad sign. The moves aren't flowing so easily. Rook f8, knight
yeah, knight e4. Rook goes all the way back to f7. Or rook f4. I think we're taking actually. Yes.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe even knight d6, queen h3 is pretty decent. And yeah, doesn't look like black is the side attacking on the king side here, and all the endgames are completely fine for white. Maybe not much better, but completely fine despite being a pawn down.
Probably much better, actually. No?
Yeah. You can easily imagine this being better for white long term.
The other game, we got something right. He did take Bishop f5, e4.
And actually, the move of 3 that Shah made was I was about to suggest it, but chat was saying e5 is strong here, or at least this is how I interpreted what the chat was saying. Just driving the knight to some bad square, and then I guess knight g4 we just go knight f3 or something and continue pushing it away, while the rooks are still not running away anywhere.
Yeah, it's annoying because you might have to spend a tempo on forcing white to take at some point. It's unpleasant.
Yeah. But f3 is very much a human move because you want the bishop on g6 as restricted as possible, and Hikaru apparently needs to find knight g4 here, but knight g4 is, I think, a findable move.
Also very Hikaru-esque small tactic.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's you also kind of know you need to find something, because otherwise, like if this knight is allowed to go to like h3 and f4, your entire kingside collection of pieces are just not going anywhere. And I mean, after a longish thought, launched something interesting here by playing knight.
Oh, knight takes c4.
So if bishop takes, what's the idea? I guess rook f3.
Something to f3.
Probably the other one, because queen takes f2 is going to hurt here, right?
Too many pieces.
Probably, yeah, you probably can't do that. So it's probably this one, and then try to get the queen to the h file somehow. I don't see how exactly, though.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. Queen d2 or queen e2, I don't know which one is stronger. Yeah, Wesley now has to consider exactly that question. Choosing a square. Choosing the square for the queen. Yeah, very sharp position, but feels like it should be solvable for white to consolidate and parry the threats, because plenty of pieces around the white king to provide defensive cover.
Yeah.
Over under on the amount of time Wesley spends on the move here.
2 minutes. He's fast.
He is very fast, yeah. But like I could very easily imagine like burning half your time here choosing a square, because it might be a very, very important decision. I was going to say it might be the last important decision of the game, and this is where I kind of stumbled, because it's not going to be. There's going to be difficult questions later, and this is maybe why you should just kind of trust your hand and make a move.
It's like any move. I don't know, queen e2, bishop g4. It's not obvious what you do next, right? Just naming random moves. In the meantime, Hikaru, no surprise there, spotted his knight to g4. Bishop had to go to c1.
Oh yeah, bishop c1 is a clever move here, protecting the knight and also stopping knight e3, which is very important.
But black still gains some jump ability. No, I'm not sure.
You can also go bishop c5, knight e3. I don't know if I like it very much, but it's an option, trading some stuff off, getting rid of the final bishop. Yeah. Some kind of position like this, knight h3, and then or h4, and then we go, I don't know, f6. Yeah, he's gone for this, actually. Yeah.
Here we are.
Bishop b5, only move in the Wesley game. Good luck, Wesley. Yeah, I very much echo that sentiment. Yeah, that's impossible.
There goes my 2 minutes prediction. Or maybe he's gonna play, but not bishop b5 within the 2 minutes. So how do we get mated? Like queen d2,
I have no
let's
idea.
say?
Bishop f5, maybe a bishop g4, some kind of a move like this, creating an idea of rook h3 check. I don't know. Knight g3 still seems to be solving that, so I don't know why it's so horrible. Maybe it's just kind of horrible long term. Black can play, I don't know, bishop g6 in that position and just continue slowly. Bishop f5, knight g3, bishop g6, and now rook f2, queen h3 ideas are... He's gone bishop f6 check. Which...
2 minutes.
Yeah, which the bar disagrees with. Because there's bishop g2 check here. No, hang on. Like rook f6, knight f6, bishop g2.
So rook 8 f6.
Yeah, rook 8
White
f6.
takes, threatening checkmate.
Yeah, I guess unfortunately, unfortunately for my attempt to find something beautiful here, probably the right move here is just to take on f6 with the rook and say that we have a very good position. But I was trying to make bishop g2 check work, and I don't think it does, regrettably. Because rook g2, queen h3, rook h2, and we don't actually, after rook e3 takes king g2, we don't have the move to take on f6 freely. So white is probably just much better. And bishop f6 check was the second best move, apparently, yeah. It's remarkable just how bad all the queen moves were, because I assumed it was fine. Just
let's have a look how like queen e2 or queen d2, let's say, loses. But yeah,
bishop
bishop
f5
f5
minus
g6, and it's just
-6.
just game.
Yeah.
Not even tactics. Here you just attack stuff until it collapses. Or
once you're told it's horrible, you can sort of figure out how. But yeah, I just wasn't really at all sure it was horrible.
This bishop g4 was indeed. So what's the point of this?
Queen b5 knight
takes.
And
now
now
you give a check.
What?
Good luck, good sir.
No, that's no. no. Not allowed. Yeah, after some thought, I mean, just says don't want to calculate any fancy stuff. Just takes. I assumed twice with rooks. Yeah, knight takes f6 in the current position doesn't really look right.
Just allows some squares here. Maybe it's
still good, but yeah, rook takes looks more solid. Just trying to get the rook to h6 and continue with the mating attack.
Oh, this guy is impressive. If he beats Wesley twice on demand,
yeah, that would be quite something. Quite something indeed.
It's not like Wesley loses a ton of chess games.
No. And in the meantime, Hikaru is probably just completely fine, because he will lose the a7 pawn now. But the bishops will go. Like the moment the g6 bishop rejoins the game, you feel quite okay about things. Yeah, like f6 bishop f7 or f5, even f5. I like f5. Yeah, let's get some freedom for our bishops here.
Yeah. No.
Just looks.
I don't think white can ever be better. I mean, if it's against a bishop and a knight, you're typically better here. But with bishops that are working, like, it might be worse.
Against the pair, you're not really ever in charge. You can start with rook fc1 on the topic of trying to make it against the bishop and the knight. You can go rook fc1 here, but even bishop f8, I guess, is fine. But you also have to calculate knight d3, because rook c3, bishop d4 actually appears to be losing on the spot. So rook d1, and then the knight might jump away, and you might never win the pawn on a7, which will make you feel a bit silly.
Question is when we go rook takes c4. No, Hikaru's gonna manage.
Yeah. So let's watch the other one, because it's a much livelier position, and we'll update the viewers on the endgame if and when something happens. Matty says, Wesley has the solid reputation, but it seems like Hikaru is more unbreakable in shorter time formats because of his resilience. Yeah, Hikaru is just a beast, but Wesley is just an all-round person who doesn't lose very many chess games, just as Jan has said. It's not specifically in tiebreaks. It's just that, I've never really done the math, but I would assume he loses like, I don't know, 4 games a year, including shorter time controls. That's maybe overstating things a little bit, but
it's probably a bit of a stretch, but yeah. No, Hikaru can get in trouble, but then he's so resilient that usually he gets out of it. Well, Wesley usually doesn't get in trouble, but if he does, he can lose. So I guess that's the difference in styles. They're obviously both world class.
Rook g3 played. Importantly, rook h6, rook takes g8 is always the issue here for black. But yeah, you just go bishop f5, bishop g6, and even if you have to kind of win it the slow way without the mating attack immediately, just by I don't know, the trade on f6 happens, and the knight goes to h5, then it goes to f4, and then you start pushing all of your very strong passers. All the endgames, like even if the queens come off, like one thing you don't want to allow probably is for rooks to come off and then the queens to come off as well, because then some kind of rook a3, rook b3 counterplay might be annoying. But as long as the queens come on, stay on, I think most endgames here are completely lost for white.
Yeah, I would guess even with the queens off, but then it depends on
the position. On the position of pieces. Yeah.
Usually, okay. This guy is also gone. No, black just has 3 pawns for the exchange. The bishop on c4 is weak. The pawn on d5 is weak. He's just winning.
He's gone with bishop g4, which is also kind of hinting at knight h6 f5, I guess. Which is why rook f1 happened instead of rook g1, I suspect, because knight h6 f5 was coming in very, very hot.
I don't like it though. I mean, it might be good, but this felt much sturdier with the bishop on g6.
I wanted the bishop on g6 as well, yeah, just to make sure that we never blunder anything. And
here, who knows?
Statistics and data says if Nakamura wins, he returns to the top of the rapid rankings, which is something that he might actually be aware of. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Or I'm not sure if he's aware of if he wins this very game, but is Magnus number 1? Like overtaking Magnus? I guess he would.
Probably, yeah. You would have to assume that.
That's why I assumed. Rook b7, and he can pick up material with bishop h3.
Yeah, this game is just kind of done. Bishop h3, rook c1, bishop c5 without the check on g2, yeah, and
cute.
Check on g2 would be a mistake, but yeah. And he's not missing any of this either. Like he blitzes.
No.
Never missing any of that.
Game over. Hikaru keeps cruising. Congratulations. And yeah, Mamedyarov does resign. Very impressive. It's just,
just very, very.
Just makes fewer mistakes. Like, yeah, very impressive.
So only one game still running, but we might get a blitz tiebreak in this one. Although, whoa, not better anymore according to the bar.
Yeah, this construction. How do we equalize though? Queen somewhere?
Queen somewhere, yeah, I guess. Or maybe bishop h3.
Yeah, bishop h3, yeah. Then if takes queen somewhere, like how does it go?
He's already
it's black to move.
Yeah. He's already
played. King g1 doesn't feel like the move.
No, feels like it gives black a tempo to do something. I don't know, queen f5 or probably queen f5 or queen g7. Queen g7. Queen g7 is not an easy move to make, allowing all kinds of bishop h3 or bishop e2. But I guess you just play h5 after, and that setup is very, very sturdy. No.
Feels like it's not over, but I mean, very much has a shot here.
Yeah.
With the bishop on g6, it just, it felt so much more friendly. Queen f5 played.
Goes queen f5, and it's back to being around equal according to the all-seeing eye. I have no idea why. I guess queen h6 is annoying, right? Because queen f8 check.
d3, you can even go here if you want.
Yeah, I think this endgame I'm taking with open arms, but yeah, queen h6 right now is
it's also the move you play here just to create some annoyance.
Yeah, stuff is hanging, and it's much harder for black to stabilize because the king hasn't been connected to everything else. Yeah.
Also, the h pawn doesn't go here. It's not
apparently not the right move though. Yeah, it's kind of incredible just how distracting the bar is. Like, it's just impossible to ignore the fluctuations of what it says.
Ah, okay. I mean the engine bar.
Yeah.
Queen h6.
Yeah, and there's a way to stabilize here for black. And on that point, I will minimize the window. But yeah, 94. He needs to find Queen of 6 now. But he does. Very well played by. I mean, the only way to get anywhere at all. But he's back to being better, not winning, but definitely better. Otherwise, the Queen on H6 was too much of a problem for Black too.
That's a nice sequence.
Yeah, that is a very, very good sequence of.
And if Queen E3 now, then
we can go back, I guess. I know Bishop F3
move.
Yeah, might just win.
Yeah.
But
There's
also
no squares here.
Zachary Blobman says, agree with Kramnik saying Wesley is an underachiever and hasn't realized his full potential. I mean,
Kramnik say that? Did Kramnik say that?
Let's assume it's an actual quote. Let's proceed under the assumption that viewers aren't lying to us.
Sounds made up. Kramnik talking trash, we would have heard of. Is he back to tweeting?
Oh God, no. Apologies. I mean, it's saying somebody who's been like a solid 28-30 for a bit is an underachiever feels kind of weird. But on the other hand, he hasn't played. He's only played one candidates and absolutely flubbed it. So in terms of like achieving the pinnacle of his profession, maybe yes. But that only really means that the potential is huge. The potential is just really mountainous.
Yeah, it's always a weird or complicated debate. You often have it with players of Wesley's style who are just incredibly educated about the game, incredibly well prepared, good calculators, but sometimes I don't know, I would guess he hates losing more than he loves winning. And he's a nice guy. And sometimes that's used against the type of players, but it also makes their strength as well. Like you do all this preparing because you do hate losing. So I'm not sure if I'm making my case very clear, but
he's actually going to get away with it now. He goes rook a3, bishop c8, bishop takes b5. Yeah, he might win this game if it continues.
Oh,
yeah.
He's the only thing where he's really underperformed. I'm not sure it was because of the pressure. Was the candidates he played where I think he lost the first 2 games and that was more or less over. No.
Yeah, he lost. I don't know if it was round 1 and 2, but he very quickly got
in trouble early on.
He kind of gave up on it as well. Yeah, which is not something you ever want to see. But he's just never losing this position anymore. Like it's clear. I'm guessing white is better, but it's irrelevant because he only needs a draw like rook b8 before a4 and start pushing. You just never lose.
So no tiebreak or no
blitz
tiebreak.
No blitz tiebreak. Seems like there will be no blitz tiebreak here. Yeah, does seem
a bit unlucky, or I don't know. It's not luck, but a bit tough for Amin because he got so close.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like maybe h5 was a mistake because maybe the king actually needed to be moved away from the back rank to stop exactly the kind of a tactic that happened in the game. Because now we can play b5 and bishop c8, and maybe this preserves the structure. And then once the king gets to e7,
looks pretty winning.
Yeah, we're back on course.
It's just one pawn, but it's an a pawn who do well against knights, as we know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like black has to do impressive things to hold this. Right?
Well, I don't know if you've ever tried studying those positions. My coach at some point made me solve all of those studies about the positions with rook against 3. Mm-hmm. They are very intricate, but they are intricate if you want to win them.
Yeah,
they're not very intricate if you just need to make a draw by giving checks all everywhere. Yeah, actually figuring out how to beat like rook. There's obviously like a demarcation line where like if the pawns progress beyond a certain point, it's a draw, and before that point, it's a win. But it's not an easy win. And yeah, at some point it was taught to me how to win those positions. I don't remember the first thing about it anymore, obviously.
Have you also seen it with pawns in the center? Like I've seen or I've read books about pawns.
Yeah,
FG and H against the rook
exactly,
and so on,
like
but like in the center, I've never seen.
F5, G4, H3, and those types.
Yeah. No, those things, yeah.
Isn't knight before winning for black? No. The knight will have to be given up after rook b6, basically. Or you have to accept some kind of a repetition. Yeah, like king d7, a6, knight c6, a7 wins the knight, actually. So yeah, you just have to give up the knight. And then we get to the exactly the kind of a position where maybe black actually holds, but nobody cares because black needs to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, some kind of position like this where...
Yep. Not sure if white can do better here. Here, maybe, yeah. No, spend time.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could.
The king, but why push here? Like,
yeah, knight d5.
Knight d5, okay, he has to win. It's not like he thinks this is a good move.
I mean, it doesn't really change anything. He might actually now
lose now.
Yeah, I think he just lost. Yeah, because now a7 and then rook b7, rook takes e7. Just yeah,
you just can't stop rook b7 or rook c8.
Knight c6 was probably just resigns. Yeah,
yeah, but it doesnn't really change much because there was draw at best. All right, congrats to Wesley and to Nakamura. Gives us, I know there's not much at stake. We haven't debated it much today, but just for clarification, this is the third leg of the Grand Prix series, which was mainly played. Of course, there's money and rating and so on at stake, but mainly played to determine two more qualifiers for the Candidates Tournament, the tournament where the next challenger for the world champion is to be found. And these two qualifiers are Hikaru Nakamura and Richard Rapport, no matter how the event plays out. But having said all that, it's fun to have a Nakamura So final. First of all, we debated their stylistic differences a bit today. Also, they're both US top players, so there might be some local rivalry going on there. Very different people, so it will be fun to watch their match. What is the format? It's the same as semifinals. Yeah, there's no.
Yeah, I think nothing changes. Yeah, it's the two classical games and then exactly the same tiebreak as today if they draw.
Is there a match for third place?
No, yes, no. It's only the finals. Everybody else is free to go.
Yeah. So are we? Shout out to Tabatabai, who's a 21-year-old 2623 rated player, and he did amazingly in these Grand Prix, scoring 50% in the first, making the knockout stage in the second. We'll hear more from Mr. Tabatabai.
Absolutely, and he gave up quite a scare to Wesley in this match. Yeah, he was winning in the first one and was also winning in the second one, at least at some point in the game. So he will look back at this at today in particular, I think, with much regret, because this definitely counts as a missed opportunity. But once that subsides, plenty to be proud of in his performance in both legs and in this one in particular.
Yeah. If you feel like looking at more chess, go buy our Chessable courses, chessable.com/Peter and chessable.com/Jan combined. They'll give you a great black repertoire. Also, check out chess24.com, where our new series on the World Championship match between Carlsen and Nepomniachtchi is out. The series I did with Peter Heine Nielsen and Laurent Fressinet, behind the scenes look at what happened in that match. You can become a premium member, get access to all the series, and challenge in all the banter blitzes with the code Grand Prix 2022. You save 40%. I know it's an amazing offer. It's not an April Fool's joke. Might be the first time ever. No, but seriously, there's a lot of good stuff there. Check it out. Thanks for watching. If you feel like, you can rejoin us tomorrow, 3 p.m. Sorry, Peter, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say thanks for being here, and same time, same place tomorrow with the finals.
Hi everyone, welcome to our new video series. My name is Jan Gustafsson, and I'm thrilled to be reunited with fellow Magnus Carlsen's trainers, seconds, Peter Heine Nielsen, Magnus Carlsen's head coach, and Laurent Fressinet, Magnus Carlsen's French coach, are both here and we will be going through the World Championship match 2021. Our experiences with it, the games, what we prepared, where we felt things went well, where we felt things didn't go well. Peter, we have different perspectives because we were in different locations.
Very much. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about it because you were in Thailand during all the match and I was in Dubai with Magnus and his non-chess team. So I see some kind of debriefing where we will discuss what was the mood in Dubai, what was happening in the technical department in Thailand, and we got to sort of basically compare notes and get the two kind of inside looks from the match.
Very much so. And Laurent, we are actually in your private home. Thanks for having us.
It's a big pleasure to welcome both of you. And I'm sure it will be interesting to talk to you guys about the match.
Likewise.
So we hope you guys enjoy the series with our behind the scenes insights. See you then.